Derek Sheridan from Rust Belt Basketball Coaches Network. Here's one of our summer series drills for the summer of 2025. And these drills and also the set plays we have in our 2025 set series for the summer are available in our newsletter named In Ted's Honor. You can subscribe for free for In Ted's Honor, which is our free weekly newsletter for students of the game of basketball. You can subscribe on our website at www.myrustbeltbasketball.com. This is a drill we stole from Coach Knight when he was at Indiana University, and Coach called this 1 second shooting. And it can start with the point guard bringing the ball across the trigger line, which for us was always the volleyball line, or it can start with the ball in shooter's hand. And so the cadence for that during this drill would just be shooter starts with ball. Screener, your point guard, here's your shooter. And this is a rotisserie drill where the student athletes rotate after a certain amount of shots per player or whatever the coach deems as necessary for that practice. You do have a defensive player on the shooter. He's the only person who is being guarded. So two can start wherever he wants. Now, unless the cadence was shooter starts with the ball, we want him starting on the perimeter. The screener can start where he wants. You can have these two people adjusted however you wish. For today's purposes, we'll start with point guard with the ball. We've got X2 here in a flat gap triangle, or flat triangle, as you would see in a gap or laning man-to-man defense. As one crosses that trigger line, 4 is going to lift, and the offensive chatter, if you follow Rust Belt basketball, you know we are huge believers in offensive chatter. We want our players to learn to speak effectively, not BS. We don't want them talking just to talk. We want an extreme amount of specificity in their vernacular. So let's say 4 has got both hands up and he is screaming at 2 for a back screen. There's your shape up. And now he can kick back for him, which is a screen re-screen in the Rust Belt blocker mover system. And of course, X2 is chasing 2 throughout all of these actions. But once 2 has the basketball, he only has 1 second to shoot. 4 can execute popping to the ball or slipping after he screens for 2, but if he catches it, he has to throw the ball back to 1 because this is a screening and shooting drill for our best shooter, which is 2. So let's say 2 sets his man up and 4 wheels around and there's a flare. And the ball goes over the top. 2 has 1 second to shoot, whether that is a catch and shoot jump shot or a one dribble pickup jumper, unless he's a special athlete who can get to the rack inside of 1 second. So this is one of those drills that if you're creative minded as a coach, what we call innovative creativity, you can have a lot of fun with. Now let's go over shooter starts with the ball. One of the things we worked our hardest on to impose upon our shooters is you are most deadly after you've passed the basketball. 2 passes it to 1 after he's V-cut, so we want 1's air time to be ball in the air, feet in the air. And now we're in action. X2 is going to jump to the ball. Again, we can flare off this. If 4 comes up and screens and he's piggybacking or chasing 2, he can curl cut that. He can gap cut it, or what we call pocket cut, which he comes over the top of the curl. 4's fighting through. 4 reverses his pivot, and bang, he cuts right behind 4's back pockets. Again, he only has 1 second to catch and shoot or put it on the floor. The next phase to this is putting 2 screeners on the court. And it's the same deal. And start with Shooter starts with the ball, or your point guard bringing it across the half court line and approaching the trigger line. And now two can maneuver either direction. So that's a drill we utilized a ton in the summer. And if you follow our blocker mover system, this is one of the drills that led into what we called entry drill, which was maybe the most critical drill we did for our blocker mover offense. And in that drill, that's where we really broke down with a large degree of specificity how to read, for how our cutters to read and how to react. And the same with our screeners, learning to curl, learning to fade, learning the vertical cut, learning our getaway cut, learning the backdoor cut. This is a drill you can play around with and take this and employ it within any offensive structure. Dribble, drive, 5-out, motion, swing, any of those things. So if you have any questions, shoot us an email at Derek, DEREK, at MyRustBeltBasketball. Check out our website. You'll like what you see, especially if you're a student of the game who is starving to learn more about your session with the game of basketball. You're really going to like what you see. We consider it a small investment into you reaching your coaching goals. $50 for a yearly subscription, which gets you access to everything. Podcasts, videos, on-the-court clinics, virtual clinics, our four-quarter coaches clinics, our extensive library, our ebooks, our books. You have access to it all, a monthly subscription for $5, or you can go on our website and rent videos for a week. God bless.